Good afternoon, it's Graham Coath with another My Music. In a minute, I'm going to be speaking to the wonderful Kate, who's sat opposite me here in virtual land. But first of all, let's have this.
I need to get going, Mel. See you later.
Kate, thanks so much for joining me this afternoon. How are you saying your surname? Is it McCabe? Is it as simple as that?
Yeah, Kate McCabe, yep.
There you go. But I have to check, because when you have these names with a Mac, you know, and sometimes you just don't know, right? And I'll get my name wrong. Do you know how my surname's pronounced?
I want to say Coath.
But people say Coath. They say Coath.
But there's clearly a sound at the end.
Yeah. Thank you. And do you know what the worst thing is? And you may have had this before with your name, I don't know, is sometimes when you go in somewhere and they ask you to spell your name, you spell it out. Yeah. And they still get it wrong.
Yep.
You literally do it letter by letter. And I've only got 5 letters in there.
It's the worst when you're doing it on the phone and they can't, you're like, you have to go, what's that alphabet that you're meant to say?
Oh yeah, like the police alphabet, yeah.
I don't
Alpha,
even
Romeo, whatever.
I'm like A as in apple. Or whatever. Because I don't know the proper one.
Oh, that's brilliant. Now listen, when I first found you on Twitter, and there's this photo of you that's on there with not the colour hair you've got now, but dark hair.
Right? You noticed.
Yeah, and the you know, the black eyeliner and the makeup and everything, and slightly different attire from what you're wearing now. Mm-hmm. Seeing you now, you'd think that's very two different people. Is dressing up, stroke, adopting an alter ego an important part of your music?
I mean, I don't know if it's an important part, but it's something that just naturally happened with the new single that I released, I Am Her, because I bought this black wig off of Amazon for fun, and then I was like, ooh, that would look cool as like for this song, because I had this song about, you know, the devil and desire and sin and all that dark stuff. And I was like, oh, those two go hand in hand. I feel like the blonde hair doesn't really portray what I Am Her is trying to like say. So so that's why I did that. But it's not, I mean, this is who I am. I'm blonde. I'm naturally blonde. But yes, I think it was just a fun kind of project to kind of do and play about with different looks.
Have you tried singing when you were dressed up in all of this stuff for the photos and everything? But did you sing the song dressed up like that as well? Did you feel it? Did you feel it added to the song?
I mean, I recorded the song in this studio here, just my home studio in my it's like a kind of attic cupboard converted into a studio. So I recorded it in this here on my own. I did a kind of back and forth with my friend Darren, who did like a lot of the guitar and stuff on it. And then I sent it on over to my producer Sandy, who produced it and mastered it. And so it was a very virtual experience. So I've not actually performed it live yet. So that'll be a fun time. And I think when I do perform it live, I think I will do it in the wig.
You will do it in the wig?
Yeah.
I think a costume change. Yeah, I do as well. I think you'll feel like you're really getting into that headspace.
Exactly. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think I've got a few gigs coming up. Whether I do it at those, I don't know. But I definitely have plans in the future to do my own kind of headline shows and perform in the wig. Yeah,
That's brilliant. Just to prove that we are live, people are listening. Hi, Ashley. Good afternoon.
hi Ashley.
There you go. Coming all the way from the southwest. So where are you from with this accent?
Yeah, so I'm from a place called Straven in Scotland. It's like a little town outside Glasgow. So I don't have like, I'm not Glaswegian. I'm people say I'm posh from people in other like I know people from Glasgow, but all my friends from Glasgow are like, you're posh. Your accent's so posh. I don't think I sound that posh, but hey ho.
Yeah.
But I'm now based in Rutherglen, so I've recently moved to Rutherglen, and that's where I am now.
For people that have no idea of geography, whereabouts is that in relation to Glasgow?
It used to be deemed as Glasgow, and then over at some point the councils changed. I don't know, but it's pretty much Glasgow.
Okay.
It's like a 2-minute train.
So it's on the outskirts of Glasgow.
Yeah.
Marvelous. How did growing up in that area influence you and music?
Well,
or didn't it?
I don't know. I mean, I think everything has influenced it in some way, whether subconscious or not. I suppose I used to when I was younger, and I've released older material when I was. I think I released my first EP when I was like 14, and then one in 2018 when I was at uni. And I kind of had adopted this almost Americanized singing voice. Whereas now with my things, I'm trying to be more naturally Scottish in my singing.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to like kind of figure out what my sound is. I think with I Am Her though, I definitely have kind of found what I want to do. I think growing up in Straven, I mean, there was a bit there. I mean, it's a community, so there's always been music in the community. I've done a lot of. I used to play shows and stuff around the town, on gala days and balloon festivals, and I think Straven has this festival called Hanger Fest, and I used to play at that all the time. So it's definitely kind of, I don't know, birthed my performance.
Yeah, sure. And when you were you performing popular music, or did you ever play more traditional Scottish music?
I used to. I mean, my first instrument that I learned to play was the violin. So with that, it was a lot of. I mean, I never played live with the violin. I just did it as like a instrument in school. But we learned a lot of kind of traditional type.
Caning music.
Yeah, kind of. But I didn't really do a lot of that. No, my style was more popular music. I would play a lot of my own songs that I would write, and like kind of country folk type stuff. That was my vibe.
Yeah. Mum and dad sing at all? Mum and dad involved in music?
So my dad used to be in a band, and when he was a teenager, kind of young adult, and then he kind of fell away from it, but he still plays, and he's got a studio in his house and stuff, and he kind of has been a big influence for me to get into recording and producing and stuff. I've still got a long way to go with all that kind of thing, but he helped set up my studio and bought me all my gear and stuff like that. My mum can sing, but she doesn't like go out her way and say I'm a singer.
It's round the kitchen peeling the potatoes. Yeah.
And then my stepdad was always playing guitars, and he was in a band. He kind of did like that as a hobby. So there was always guitars and instruments around the house. And when I got to high school, I was like, ugh, I'm too cool for the violin now. And I picked up one of my stepdad's guitars and just started teaching myself how to play it. So yeah. And that's kind of where it all
early
began.
listening experiences for you?
A lot of, I mean, well,
you can be completely honest. It's fine. You know, you're a mere youngster, so you know.
On car trip, like we would go to France every year on holiday, and we would my stepdad would drive down because he was scared of flying. So we would drive down to France, and so it was like a big road trip, and all the music we would get, my stepdad and my mum would play like The Cure and Oasis and The Killers, and I had somebody in my head and I can't remember, like Bob Dylan and all the Pink Floyd, all the classics.
But quite an eclectic mix as well. It's not just like, sort of 90s indie or whatever. No.
So that's kind of what I grew up listening to, and then subconsciously kind of soaked in. But then when I started kind of getting my own music taste and wanting to listen to things on my own, it was a lot of like Beyonce, and I got really into Michael Jackson at one point, and he was like my idol, and I loved him. I had posters all over my room. and then obviously he turns out he's not that good a dude, and but I still can't say that his music, I still love his music though. But I do think like,
so if I was just like dum 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 dum, you just go now, wouldn't you? Yeah.
He was such a genius, like lyricist, musician, dancer. It was everything. And I would just dance all in my room, like make up dances. I knew all the words to all the songs. So that's kind of where I think my love for music kind of started to.
He was a very visual artist as well. He really took over MTV for a while. So that kind of comes back to the dark hair and the wig and everything else as well. Do you think there's an aspect? Yeah. Do you think there's an aspect of that that's kind of filtered through with you?
Yeah, because I love film and I love TV. So see, you know how you get people who are like really into their music? I'm really into my films and TV and like theatrics. And it sounds weird because I'm a musician. You'd think that I would be really into music and really and like know everything about all the music stuff, but I don't. I'm quite bad at that actually. But when it comes to like actors and directors and all that kind of stuff, I know my stuff. So I think I've taken a lot of like influence, like visual. I'm a very visual person as well, so I love music videos and things too. And yeah, I like supernatural kind of vibes. Like there's a TV show called Supernatural, which is like one of my favorite TV shows, and it's like demons and devils and all that kind of stuff. I just think it's like cool, and I think it's an interesting it's quite interesting to explore like the kind of like the religious influences and things as well. I'm not religious, but I do have family members who have been religious or friends who are, and I do think it's quite an interesting concept, religion and things like, and like exploring it, and I don't know, going against it almost.
Yeah. So where would be a great place for you to film a video? A sort of church graveyard, somewhere like that? With that.
I mean, it'd be a cool scene, wouldn't it? But I do have it. I filmed a video for my single. But I did it in my bathroom. So, cheap, convenient, easy commute. And I did, so it was kind of, I just filmed it in my bath. I had this idea because I moved into this new house and I've got a freestanding bath, which I've never had before. And I think it looks really cool. And one of my friends came round and said, "You should do a photo shoot in that bath." And I was like, "You're so right, I should." And so I was like, I'm going to go a step further and film a music video in this too. And when I recorded I Am Her, I was like, this is the song that I'm going to do this with. And then I edited it all myself. So I filmed it and edited it, and I'm really proud of it. I think it looks quite cool.
Yeah, no, it does. Let's talk about style, because you've got some older stuff on the internet as well. Which is more acoustic driven in the background, etc. And that's obviously where you started. But the new music that you've done, the latest music that you've done, there's a bit more electronica in there.
Yeah.
in terms of the backing. Is what prompted that move? What made you suddenly go, do you know what? That's where I want to go with this.
I think it's just the song. So it's whatever song
Right.
you have in the moment. Each song has a different feel to it. So I think when I was in the studio with my old stuff, it was it's just me, my guitar, very simple. The song speaks for itself kind of thing. And with I Am Her, cause it is a more theatrical theme, I wanted it to be really dark and stuff and deep. But then I was working with my friend Darren, he's quite influenced by like 80s music and stuff, and we had like conversations back and forth, and he was like, I think this would sound cool, and that would sound cool, and you should put this guitar bit in it, and he was sending me like tracks and things to kind of go off of, and I was like, yeah, cool, I like that, and I like that, I don't like that, and it just kind of like happened, I guess. It wasn't I didn't write the song and go, I want it to sound exactly like this. It just kind of naturally became what it became.
Yeah.
If that answers your question.
Yeah, no, it does. So we're 10 years from now. Kate McCabe has had already a successful music career. All right.
Okay.
And we're looking back. Do you think you would be the kind of artist where every album that comes out is varied, is different? It would be, you know, a little bit like people like Lady Gaga, for example. This is boom, dance, you know, the next one is kind of rock pop, the next one is a bit quieter with, you know, this one's a kind of ballady one. You know, it just whatever goes, really.
Definitely. I mean, there's such I've written so many songs. I've got songbook upon songbook of songs that I've written and not recorded. And I have like ideas of what they will sound, but all of them start off with just me and my guitar. So all of them sound like they should just be acoustic. But then I do have like different kind of like ideas for some, and I've got like different, maybe like a music video idea for one that would kind of dictate how it should sound almost. And I definitely would see myself playing about with all the different genres and ways that you can record and ways you can produce. Because, I mean, I'm constantly learning. And I also want to kind of get to a point where I can maybe produce my own song or my own album or something at one point. So I think right now I'm just experimenting and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and going with it. But I definitely I have this vision of like, I want an album where it's quite theatrical and it all kind of like interlocks with all the songs, like connect together. And then maybe like I've got this breakup album that I've just written as well. So there's a whole load that's very varied.
At that point, I should have said, well, I'm really sorry about that. Unless it's completely made up.
Well, it's not made up, unfortunately. No, but it's okay. I mean, it's been like, it's been a year. Oh my gosh, it's been a year now. So
there you go. Yeah, you go. And now and the music's come out of it. And actually, sometimes some of the best music comes out of breakups, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, well, it's so, people have said like, I did like a song. I've done multiple songwriting workshops and things, but I went to uni and I did like a songwriting module at uni, and every songwriter that I've ever worked with has always had trouble writing happy songs. And it's because it's so much easier to put emotion and like lyrics and music and stuff to something hard that you're going through, like sad, angry. Like it's really hard to write a good positive song, I think.
Yeah, and a lot of famous singer-songwriters have talked at length about it as well, where they may have got to a period in their life where everything's pretty cool. and then suddenly it's like I think it's as much as anything else for a lot of people. It's about them becoming okay with things just being okay.
Yeah.
You know, or just being happy at that point, and riding that, as opposed to, you know, feeling turbulent. And of course, you know,
but it then comes with what do you write about when you're just feeling okay?
Yeah.
That's where the lull goes. Like, when I'm just feeling okay, I tend not to write anything.
Well, there's a lot of people that have learned how to write being locked away over the past year. How have you found this? I mean, we don't want to talk about it too much, but how have you found the last sort of 18 months or so in terms of lockdowns and stuff? Has it been a fruitful time for you, or has that been tricky at times?
I wouldn't say it's been fruitful. No, it's been hard. Yeah, it's been like really difficult, but it's also been really good as well. There's a lot of good things that have come out of it too. I mean, the big thing for me is that my relationship that I was in ended, and it was like a big, oh God. And at one point I didn't have I was working as like a freelance guitar teacher before lockdown, and then lockdown hit and a lot of my pupils decided to quit and not come back, and they didn't want to do Zoom lessons. I still have 4 pupils who have stuck with me, and I still teach them on a Tuesday, but other than that I all went away. So I was like, oh gosh, and then I was like, you know, living off of universal credit for the whole year. I couldn't really pay my mortgage and stuff, so it was all very hard. And then I got broken up with. And then I decided to make a big drastic change. I applied for like the first 5 jobs that I could find, and I got one of them. And I started that like last November, I think it was, or September. Moved in November, and here we are. And I've written a bunch of new songs.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I'm recording.
What do you do when you're not making music? Tell us what you do for a living when you're not making music.
Well, so I'm a modern apprentice with the I think it's architectural technology.
Brilliant.
So an architect in training, essentially.
That's a marvelous thing. Restoration architecture is where it's at. That's what my uncle does.
Ooh.
And then you get to spend a lot of time in church places with graveyards, which is great for filming.
Exactly, perfect. I mean,
so there you go. That's the route to take.
A door leads to new doors. It's all connected.
Absolutely. I want to talk about your voice. I mean, your voice is stunning.
Thank you.
Absolutely stunning. When did you realise that you had a great voice, or have you realised that you've got such a great voice?
I think I realised that I can sing and I can hold a tune, but I don't think I've got that great a voice. Like, there's always somebody who's better, you know. So I try not to think about it. I just try and sing the best that I can at the time. I don't really think too much about it. I used to do like vocal lessons when I was a kid, and I don't really anymore, because I became a music teacher, and I taught guitar and vocals and things, and I kind of fell away from continuing to learn. So I just kind of go with the flow and do what I do. I mean, there's definitely room for improvement, in my opinion.
Always, for all of us, there's room for improvement. But I think it's really difficult for singers, actually. I think it's really difficult when you are a singer to appraise your own voice in a way.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, do you find recording your voice strange compared with singing live? I mean, I always found, like, once you put these things on and you're in a studio, etc., and you're listening just to your own voice coming back, you've become hypercritical of your own voice as well.
Definitely. And it's not just like my voice, it's my guitar playing too. I'm like, I do a take and I'm like, oh no, that was bad, do it again. I've been recording the same song for, I think, maybe over like a few months now, because every time I lay down the vocal, I'm like, I don't like it. I can do better. I don't like it. I can do better. I found it very frustrating and hard recording on my own though, because you don't have anybody to say, no, that was good, or that was bad, or do it like that, or maybe change this. It's all down to you and your judgment, and I'm like, but it is hard. It's definitely. And then when I perform live, I'm always like, I could have done that so much better, because you don't have the option performing live to go back and do it again.
No, you don't. But then you do have a crowd.
Yes.
Hopefully. Exactly. We need to get back to that, obviously, because that hasn't been happening. But you know, you can always feed off of a crowd if you've got a crowd there. So what's the future hold for Kate? What's coming next?
Well, I'm finishing up another single, which I hope to release shortly, and it will be part of. I'm hoping that it will be part of like a small EP, and then I hope to release that like at the end of the year, and then next year I've got this whole breakup album I was talking about earlier, which I want to record and release next year, and then.
Wow.
It's just going to be release, and then get back to performing, and hopefully maybe go and take all the songs on a wee tour or something around Scotland, and then maybe the UK. I don't know. I'm dreaming big.
Well,
I want to.
You've got to, and we'd love to see you in other parts of the UK as well.
I'd love to perform if people want to see. So
don't just keep it to Scotland.
Well, you know. I mean, I'll start with Scotland and then see how that goes.
Well, I think what we need to do is generate demand, don't we? So
exactly.
You know, please, anybody that's listening to this today, after you've heard from Kate, go and check out Kate's music. And where do we find your music, Kate? I mean,
I'm on Spotify, I'm on iTunes, I'm on Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Google Play, Amazon Music, you name it. I'm there, and it's Kate McCabe, and I've also got, you can find all my music on my website as well, which is katemccabemusic.com.
That's an important one to remember. Get people to go there. In terms of buying your music, is it available to buy on Bandcamp? It's available to buy.
Yeah,
is it?
Bandcamp. Yeah. I think it's available to buy on Bandcamp, iTunes, and Amazon, and then it's available to stream on Spotify and iMusic, Apple Music, maybe.
Which is great. And let's let people stream it to their heart's content. But please, people, do go and buy it as well.
Yes.
Because that puts money in Kate's pocket, and that enables her to. Yes, exactly. That enables her to buy more wigs and come up with more songs that are more dramatic, and film more videos, which
exactly
would be good.
Yes.
And I think I'm looking forward to being able to buy a Kate McCabe T-shirt as well.
Oh, I want to make one. I just don't know what I would make. I've got ideas. I do have ideas.
You knew you would, you see. I love that. There's a little duality within you, isn't there? There's a little thing going on where I don't know what to make. Actually, I do.
Well, I mean, I've got multiple ideas. I just don't know what one's the best one.
Ask the people. Throw it out there. Cool. Yeah. Ask the people, throw it out there, put it out there on Twitter or Instagram, etc. Yeah. All of these platforms. Ask the people. I do a poll every single morning on LinkedIn, which is my main platform.
Right.
And I have done for over a year now. Every single morning. Doesn't matter what else is happening. Christmas Day, Boxing Day, you know, whether I'm feeling like poo or not, I just put a poll out there. And you know what? It's the most marvelous thing, because it actually gets people's opinions on stuff, and you can use it. You can use that to find out exactly what your group of fans want. Yeah,
perfect. I'll take it. I'll do that.
Honestly, it's the way to go. And you know, the other thing that I say to a lot of guests as well is, get on the back of the T-shirt, get the saying, "I listen to Kate McCabe on Spotify."
Yeah.
Right. I don't know whether you've heard this before. Yeah, I listened to Kate McCabe on Spotify, but I've bought the T-shirt.
Hey. Good. That's a good one.
It is.
Noted.
It is, because that way they can still carry on listening to you on Spotify, but safe in the knowledge that they've actually paid you some money.
Yeah.
Isn't that great? That's a wonderful thing. Kate, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you.
Thank
today.
you. Thank you so much.
I really do wish you all the best with your career. I think you have got an absolutely fabulous voice. I think your songwriting is fantastic. I really just think you need that next opportunity, and I'm really hoping that next opportunity comes along for you.
Oh, thank you.
That propels Kate out of her flat and into stardom.
Thank you so much.
All right. So yeah, pleasure speaking to you today. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.